former
that's right.
guests.
You were on the last show of my last show, and you guys were singing together.
We were standing together, yes. I was not singing, I was mouthing the words.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, let's mouth some words together right now.
That sounds...
You've got a new book called United, Thoughts on Finding Common Ground and Advancing the Common Good. All right. We are so politically divided. How do we find common ground anymore? Isn't my common ground not necessarily your common ground? Can we even agree on what is common anymore?
I think we can more than we know. I mean, our differences matter between us, but our country matters more. And when you focus on love of country, patriotism, it necessitates a love of each other, love of Americans. And love is not a sort of a wimpy word. It's actually a hard word, a difficult word, and it means reaching out. And the problem is we've often got this idea that we should just tolerate each other. Well, really, tolerance is a weak start. It says that we should just stomach each other's right to be different, that if you disappear from the face of the earth, I'm no better or worse off. But we as a nation have aspired at our best to move beyond tolerance to love, which was recognizing that we need each other, that we're each other's greatest hopes. There's an old African saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And that's the story of America, going together.
So in the Senate,
yes.
Where is the love? where is the love in the Senate? Who can you share your love with? I mean, let's talk about some of the people who are running for president right now. There are some senators running for president. There is Senator Sanders, Senator Cruz.
I think the more important thing is there are some senators actually not running for president right now.
That's true. Some people say that, like, Donald Trump keeps accusing Ted Cruz of having nobody who'll work with him. Have you worked with Ted Cruz?
Yeah, we have. We've introduced legislation. We passed some legislation together. I went down there not to be New Jersey's Democratic senator, but to be a New Jersey senator, try to represent everybody. And I got some great advice from a former senator named Bill Bradley, which he said is, don't prejudge the people that you're with. Take time to get to know them, sit with them. And a lot of the Republican senators showed me extraordinary kindness in sitting with me, working with me. And, you know, I went out to dinner with Ted Cruz. I asked him out to dinner based on that theory that you and I can find some common ground. And it was funny, people literally would walk past our dinner table and stop and do a double take and then say fantastical things. Like they would come up to us and say, this is the presidential ticket in 2020. And I'd look at them and say, no way. but we, you know, through that conversation, we said, let's find something we can work on together. And there are issues we agree on. And we passed a piece of legislation together last year. And I'm very proud of that.
Well, let's talk about what is going to be, for all, you know, the hope of love, there's going to be a battle royale over whether or not Barack Obama can reasonably nominate someone to replace Justice Scalia in the last year of his term.
Right.
There's a lot of talk. Mitch McConnell, who's the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, and also the leader of the Senate right now because the Republicans are in the majority, said, can't do it. It's just, if it violates precedent, how do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I just want to skip something you're glossing over. I mean, what you said at the beginning of the show about Justice Scalia, the power of human kindness. And people underestimate that. We are here because of a conspiracy of love. We have this great man theory of history where these great men descended from Mount Olympus or wherever, George Washington, Martin Luther King, and led us to a better country. But that's not the truth of our history. The truth of our history is a conspiracy of love, of ordinary Americans doing extraordinary acts of kindness, service, and love, whether it was in the civil rights movement, people leaving their homes to do goodness and kindness. So I just want you to say, to hear you, who I don't think you share the same philosophy of jurisprudence as Scalia, I could be wrong.
I made a lot of jokes about it.
Yeah,
it's part of the public record.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yet you saw the transformative power. That I'm here right now because my father, born in North Carolina, in Jim Crow, North Carolina, to a poor mother. He would joke that he couldn't afford to be poor. He was just P-O, couldn't afford the other two letters. His mom couldn't take care of him. And so these small acts of kindness of people in that town that took him in, that put a roof over his head. He had no history of college in my family, but it was people, as I talk about in this book, people who just did small things, church collection to help him go to college. What's the ROI on kindness like that? But it reverberates out into the generations. So I know that we get caught up in the news of the day, the political battle of the day, but as important and consequential as things are, like a Supreme Court appointment are, far more important is the goodness, kindness, and mercy we do every day. I always say the biggest thing we can do in any day, the biggest thing we can do in any day is often a small act of kindness. And I meet people like that on the campaign trail who come up to me and talk to me about their overcoming addiction. They talk about me, about being homeless, and their stories of personal trials always seem to be laced with their desire now to help other people. Like, we have a broken criminal justice system.
Let me ask you something.
Please.
If you'd like to help other people, help me out this way.
Okay.
Do you think Obama can nominate someone for the Supreme Court? Just answer that question.
I will answer the question. I know you're trying to get to the moment.
I just want a yes or no.
So people.
I mean, that was beautiful. That was beautiful, and I loved every minute of it. But
Yes.
let's be serious.
You sound like my. You sound like my last girlfriend. You know, let's get to the point. Where yes or no.
So
I think that as I read the Constitution, it clearly says we have an obligation. The president has an obligation to do our constitutional duty, fill a vacancy. To allow that seat to remain vacant for more than a year, with all the consequential things going through the Supreme Court right now, is unacceptable.
it could be ties. It could be ties. It could be 4-4 ties, and then it could be a year of 4-4 ties, and then they'd have to like do a coin toss or something like that.
You have a great sister who ran for office, put herself out there, but you know what they say about ties? It's about like kissing your sister, and I know that is.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about right now.
We need to aspire in our country, whether it's about the Supreme Court or whatever, to evidence the best of who we are. And it's not always in winning or beating down somebody. It's about elevating others, embracing others. And
it's about being united.
Yes, it is.
All right, Cory Booker, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
United hits the shelves tomorrow. Senator Cory Booker, everybody, we'll be right back.